What do you see as being the best and worst things that an individual can do for the ward? So the best thing I can do for my ward and the worst thing I can do for my ward.
My mind is kind of stuck on councils right now, so I was thinking a lot about being really humble and vulnerable and honest. But that's kind of I when I thought about it more, I kept coming back to build relationships. So, and I think that kind of ties a lot in with covenant relationships that we make with God, and kind of by extension, the other people that are making covenants as well. So, but building relationships, so spending time with people, being open, being honest. I think that's one of the best things you can do. Um, to me, I kind of feel like the whole community and church kind of falls apart as soon as we stop being open, honest, and vulnerable with each other. And I'm not talking about in really crazy ways. I'm just talking about simple ways, like if life's not going so well, like you're kind of depressed or something. Say, life's not going so well. I'm kind of depressed. I don't know why, but this is how I'm feeling right now. And I kind of want to talk through things. Or if I don't know, just I don't mean because I think sometimes when people hear the word vulnerability, they think like I'm gonna spill the craziest stuff to you right now that I haven't thought about for 10 years because I'm over it, but I'm gonna spill it to you. It's
Yeah,
like
TMI,
no,
right?
yeah, but just being honest in the moment, about how you're feeling. If you have a thought while you're in a class at church, say it. And then there's a lot of ways to do that, right? You could try to eat with people, have meals together where you get to know people, spend time with them, be open. But at the end of the day, I guess my answer would be build relationships for what's the best thing, or at least one of the best things you can do. So,
Okay, pretty similar to what I've heard other people say. So, what would be one action item that might qualify as going towards that goal that you could do on a Sunday basis? Like my goal is to each Sunday from for the next month do this one thing. What might that be?
I mean, I hadn't thought about this until you just asked, but a few years ago, me and Britt, had my wife, started having, we had this goal of like, every time we go to church, we should see somebody we don't know and just walk up to them, say hi, and just try to talk to them for a second. Um, Not meaning to get anything grand out of it, but just to get to know their name, get to know like where they live, what's going on in their life. Um, I think that's a really small thing you could do, but eh, you know, as I was thinking about this too, I was like, probably the most important thing is to build your relationship with God because I think that allows you to open up your relationships with other people better. And so there's probably things you could do on the daily to feel more in tune with yourself and God, like working yourself out with God and getting to know God. Um, but yeah, a small thing on Sunday or any time here's a small thing that we've started doing. Whenever we're coming home, so, I'm in Utah, the ward boundary is tiny. It's like, 6 blocks by 2 blocks or something like that. Um, Whenever we drive home, we kind of live in the middle. We take the long route and just drive through. We roll down the windows and we try to say hi to whoever is outside. It's rare that somebody is outside. So it's very, but it only takes 2 seconds, right? But that's a small thing. People can be like, oh, look, hi, it can like be a little moment. So anyway, that's my thoughts on something small you can do.
So that's like the Pleasantville vibe where you're driving by, but then you see somebody and so you stop. And at the window you're kind of like, hey, and like catching up real quick, like that kind of thing.
Yeah, we haven't gone so far as to stop. We just kind of keep driving. But and the kids are just saying hi to anybody that's there. And often it's only like, I mean, because we'll pass by like, I don't know, 30 homes. It's often there's like one, right? There's like one
Yeah.
person outside. Um,
It's like a drive-by
so.
Drive-by ministering.
Yeah, yeah. I'm like, hey, who'd you see? And I just start, marking it off on my phone. So
That's pretty good. That's pretty good. Would All right, what might be some of the worst things you can do for your ward as an individual?
uh, yeah, I could not get around just the inverse of my other answer.
Yeah.
Like every time I was like, what's the worst? It's like the inverse. So yeah, for me it would be um, basically not engaging with God, and like in turn just not engaging with people at the ward level, the community level. You're just not stepping out of your comfort zone to say hi to people, to get to know them, to be social with them, to counsel together with them. Uh, so yeah, and obviously that's also not black and white. Like you know, you're just on a spectrum. I've been very closed for a long time at different periods of my life, and very open, and I am. This might just be biased, but I am so much more connected, happy. I feel like receptive or open to new ideas when I'm trying to connect with other people in super small ways, just saying hi, getting to know them. So, yeah. So I think the worst thing you can do is just disengage.
Okay. What if what would advice would you have to someone who's naturally or they see themselves as naturally shy or antisocial or have a difficult time having the courage to engage as you're recommending? Are they just kind of hopeless to be able to build the ward, or how do they approach that?
I'm glad you asked. I have a three-step plan. So, no, I'm just kidding.
If you go to my
I
website.
no, I was thinking about that too because I know, which I don't relate to. I've heard people say an introvert's like I recharge when I'm not talking to people. So that's like very hard and uncomfortable to. And I mean, I'm kind of putting words maybe in their mouth, but yeah, for me, I'm a little more extroverted. So I don't know what I would say because I don't want to. I do have a tendency to oversimplify and use these cookie cutter models in my mind, and just place them over everybody. But it's hard for me to think that it's a bad idea to at least try to connect in small ways for everyone. Like even if you're pretty introverted or uh, yeah, I think it's still really healthy to like try to challenge yourself to put yourself out there and get to know people and have friends and stuff.
What about
Was
this?
that getting at your question?
Yeah, yeah. What about this thought that comes to my mind? What if someone who is really shy has a hard time walking up to the people they don't know and kind of doing the new introduction thing, but they do have one good friend in the ward that they stay close to? Does that qualify as strengthening the ward, or what's the expectation? That's probably not the right word, but
Yeah,
how would
I,
one gauge the expectation they put on themselves?
yeah, man, that's a great question, and I hesitate so much creating some expectation, mainly because I hate when people put expectations on me, and so I don't, I don't think I'm gonna come back to follow your gut, like
Follow the spirit?
yeah, follow the spirit. If you, but I will. I mean, I will probably, as a general rule, say if you feel like you have no friends, that's not a good sign.
Yeah.
Especially in the feeling sense of it. Like if that's how you feel, you're like, man, I am not connected. Then I think that's a sign to like try to do something, like put yourself out there. But yeah, maybe I should hesitate even saying that. But no, back to your example, if you have one good friend and you're feeling solid, yeah, probably good. I don't know. Follow your gut.
No, I think the way you put it is good. If you don't feel like you have any friends in the ward, you probably need help. Either making friends or talking to someone about making friends or trying to set up different relationships, trying to find common interests. So yeah, it would be interesting to make a survey, anonymous survey, where each member of the ward writes down how many good friends they have in the ward. How many people in the ward they would consider a close friend. Yeah, that would be super
Yes,
fascinating.
that would be awesome. If you going to give your best and worst, or is this just my best and
This
worst?
was your best. This is my yeah, your best and worst. But
Okay.
yeah, mine's really similar. Where I asked Courtney, and she talked about relationships, like build relationships and or destroy relationships. And you kind of framed it in terms of vulnerability and non-vulnerability. And the way I frame it is in terms of selflessness and selfishness, where if you walk into your ward with, what am I going to get out of this? You're going to destroy the ward. If you walk in with, how can I help somebody else? Then you're going to strengthen the ward.